Hi, in this video we're going to take a quick wee look, now that you've created a classroom, at how you would go about adding pupils to that classroom. So, from your classroom, you would want to first of all note that down the side here we have a class code. Now the simplest way if you have a class in front of you is simply to show them the class code, and you'll see that there's this little icon to display this, which allows you to make it really large on your screen. And simply for pupils, when they go to the classroom homepage, they click the same little X button at the top here, or the little cross button that you use to create a class or to join a class. And when they click on that, they can enter this class code, and that will be them straight into your classroom. So it's the simplest and quickest way to do it if you have the class in front of you. However, if you have a pupil who's absent, or for any reason a pupil who's not attending school, but you want them to be part of your classroom, you can also, you'll see, copy an invitation link. And this invitation link can be used by that pupil to directly join your classroom, provided they're signed in to, for example, their Chromebook, so it knows their Google account, or they're using a computer signed in with the Chrome web browser using their school Google account. If not, they'll just have to sign in when they go to the link. So that's another way you can do it. So you can use the invitation link, or you can use the invitation code. There is one final way of doing it, and that's where maybe you don't have an easy way of directing a link to that pupil and you simply want to kind of invite them to join the class, but they're not there in person. I find this quite useful. If a pupil is absent on the day that I've got a class for the first time, it means that I can just create that invitation for those one or two pupils who aren't there, and they'll see them the next time they log into the classroom. So if we go to pupil, down at the students section here, you'll see that we have an option to invite students. And so in here, below the invitation link, you'll see that we can actually just type an email address. So I'm going to invite a test pupil account I have. So you'll see that we have test2 pupil here. We've just started typing the email address. We're going to click them to select them. And you'll see that you can then add additional email addresses there for other pupils. So if you had to do this for a large number of pupils and you had all of their email addresses in a spreadsheet, it would be quite simple to copy those as comma separated values and just paste them into there, and thus invite a whole range of pupils into your classroom. And that might be quite good for, say, for example, you're making a year group classroom for conveying general information. You might have all of those email addresses in a spreadsheet, but you'd never actually see all those pupils all at the same time. So that might be quite an easy way to just add that whole bunch at once. Now, if you click invite, that invitation will go, and you'll see that that pupil is showing up as invited. We'll take a quick look at how that looks from the pupil perspective. So as that pupil's account here, if I refresh the page, I should see that I now have an invitation to join this class, and I can either decline or choose to join it. And when I click join, we go back and we can see, if we refresh the page, that this pupil will now be a member of our classroom. Okay. Beside the pupil, you'll see that we can click the three dots, and that allows us a couple of options. For example, emailing that student directly, so that will go to their school Gmail account. We can remove them, and we also have the option to mute that pupil. Muting them basically means that they can still see all of the classroom content and access their work. It would simply prevent them from publicly commenting, and that might be useful if you had a pupil who was behaving improperly within your classroom. So that's really all you need to know about how to add pupils to your classroom, and also how to remove them, maybe if they leave the school and move on to another place.